back to My Tiny Kitchen. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. So I was watching or perusing YouTube and things like that, as I tend to do, looking at food blogger stuff. And I found a couple of people who were trying this 15-hour potato challenge. And so, of course, I stopped and checked those out. And apparently it stems from a TikTok craze of a girl named Poppy Cooks or something like that. Poppy something. Sorry, Poppy. I'll look up your name and tag you in this. Poppy tried this 15-hour potato challenge in which you coat potatoes in duck fat or a fat of some kind and layer them in a pan and then bake them and then put them in the fridge for 12 hours, bring them back out, fry them in peanut oil, and apparently it makes this delectable, layered, crispy, crunchy, chewy, yummy, perfect to be talked about crazed potatoes. So to me, 15 hours seems like a lot of time, but I'm here for you. So I'm going to attempt the 15-hour potato challenge like a crazy person, just to see, is it worth it? Is it worth your time? I don't know. Let's check it out. I started with about 5 potatoes, these Yukon Gold potatoes. Apparently they work really great because they are creamy, smooth, they crunch up really well, and that's what they said to use. So that's what I'm using. So I peeled those and then sliced them on a mandolin. Now, this is my mandolin. It only comes out once in a great while because first time I got it, forever scar on my hand because these are super duper sharp and sometimes hard to use, but they make these beautiful, thin, sliced potatoes, which is what we need for this challenge. So I use that. You can easily use a knife as well to cut thin slices. While I was using my mandolin though, quick tip, I don't like this thing that came with it. This is the guard that protects your hand when you're using the mandolin. I don't think it holds the things tight enough. They slip out. You just can't use it. So I end up using my hand, which is sans scar forever. So I used, especially with the potatoes, that worked really well. I don't have one, but here we go. Fork. And I just poked a fork in the end of the potato when it was getting towards the end and used that, push that through to cut my thin slices for on the mandolin. So tip, fork, guard, better. No scar this time. Blood free. So I use that. They call for duck fat, which who has duck fat around all the time, right? But I did find some at the grocery store. Wasn't hard to find. So I bought some, and it's about 1/3 of a cup of duck fat that we're going to pour onto the potatoes and get them all soaked in. I did watch a YouTube person that I like to follow. His name is Stash Sauce, and he is a vegan cook. He made his own version of duck fat using different kinds of fats, vegan fats, olive oil and some Crisco or canola oil or things like that, and then put carrots and some other yummy, like I think some powdered mushrooms, that's the word, mushroom, in there as well, that really would start to imitate the richness of the duck fat flavor. And so I thought that was really super duper clever. I didn't have time or want to do the vegan version. I'm not a vegan, so just going for the store-bought duck fat. So all of that, here we go. I've already peeled and sliced thinly this whole bunch of potatoes. I have already prepped. You need a bread pan such as this. Put parchment all in it. I'm not very good at those like perfect cut parchment things where they line the pan perfectly. That's okay. I made it work. Another little tip, I found that the parchment was being finicky and wanted to come up, and I want it to stay nice and flat so that the potatoes stay nice and flat. So I just sprayed a little olive oil spray inside of the pan, makes the parchment stick right to it. Clever, me, yep. And then we're ready to get started. So I have my bowl of potatoes. I'm going to take this now. Another step that I did is, because sometimes I like to be extra, and I think why not? So my duck fat, it needed to be just warmed through so that it wasn't in a solid state. So I took a pan, I put the duck fat into it, I put it on the stove on low, and then I just added couple of smashed cloves of garlic, and some rosemary stems, some fresh rosemary, because who doesn't like rosemary and garlic on potatoes? So this fat is rosemary, garlic, duck fat. I'm gonna pour that all over my beautiful Yukon Gold potatoes. This is like, again, I said about 1/3 of a cup. I'm gonna pour that all in. I'm also going to add a teaspoon or so of kosher salt. Kosher salt works better than table salt. It's a little less salty and just melts into cooking better. So I tend to use kosher salt almost all the time rather than table salt. And I'm just going to coat with my hands, clean hands, fresh hands, all in this beautiful duck fat and salt. And what this is going to do as we layer it in the pan, and we want to make sure, because the potatoes kind of stick together, you want to make sure each potato is getting some yummy fat on it. It's the only thing, food is the only thing you can say has yummy fat, right? I'm not calling any kind of other fat yummy. So this has all the good coated fat on it. But why we're doing this is that when we layer it into that pan, the layers of potatoes and the fat is going to, if you think of it like a croissant, how a croissant has layers or puff pastry has layers, you do like butter and pastry and butter and pastry. And then once you bake it, it flakes up and makes that really beautiful, flaky, croissant-like, puff pastry-like layers. So that's my guess of what this is going to do when we cook the potatoes in, we're going to deep fry them in oil tomorrow. I don't do a lot of deep frying, so that will be new to me. I don't particularly love fried foods, but 15-hour potatoes, once in a great while, if you want to do something crazy, you got to go all the way. So this is what I'm doing. All right, so these are really nicely coated. I'm going to now start to layer them into the pan, and we'll get all of those beautiful layers going. We want to make sure our layers are as even as possible. So we have our pan. Here we go. Okay, and so we just want to start our layering. I cut some of the potatoes in half just so I can snug them really nicely close to the sides, because we want to get as even and tight layers as we can. And if you feel like any of your potatoes are dry, just go ahead and dip them in a bit of that bowl. And we're just going to continue to go around nice and snug. I'm just pushing down on the paper because it's finicky, just to make sure it's nice and snug and we get a nice square bottom. Okay, so that was time consuming to layer all that up. But now it's all layered, just like that, ready to go in a 250-degree oven. I'm actually going to just kind of tuck this in. So these are going to cook first for 3 hours at 250, and they should come out of the oven and just a tip of a knife should be able to just slide down into it and be nice and soft, and then we'll let it cool a little bit. We'll put another bread pan on top, weighted down with some glasses of water or jellies, jams, I don't know. And then it'll go in the fridge for another 12 hours. So that's most of the 15-hour production right there, is the prep, doing it, goes in the oven for 3 hours, stays in the refrigerator till I get to it tomorrow. Can't even speak, it's the end of the evening. Until I get to it tomorrow. And then we'll fry them up and see what happens. So, night-night potatoes. It's wine o'clock. Okay, so it's come out of the oven. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna open it up. And supposedly after 3 hours at 250, all I have to do is insert a knife into this, and it should go in like butter if they're soft enough. Like butter. And so that's done. So all I'm gonna do now is, here's the problem with making 15-hour potatoes that I'm gonna tell you, is that when you started them earlier this afternoon on Saturday, and now they've cooked for 3 hours and you've done your prep, you've played online gaming with your friends and you've had a couple drinks. So maybe you're just a little less ready for on-camera things. But what I'm gonna do is, I've made the potatoes, they're soft. The knife has gone through. Closing this back up. I'm taking another bread pan filled with jars, filled with water or a jelly jar that I had from the fridge. And I'm placing it back on top of the parchment paper and weighting down these beautiful soft potatoes. I'm gonna let it cool for a while, and then I'm gonna put it in the fridge. It's gonna sit there for at least 12 hours, or for whenever I get to it tomorrow, and then we'll do the next steps. Okay, welcome back, friends. Here we are. It's a full day later. 12 hours have passed. I've now taken our little potatoes who had a nice little sleep. I had a nice little sleep. I hope you had a nice little sleep. That had our jars of water and jam, weighing it down. And now we're gonna see what they look like and cut it up, get it frying in some oil. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if this is worth it all this time. So, I'm gonna take my jars away. And take this baby off. Here in my tiny kitchen, filming a show, it's hard because it's tiny and everything is small and around me. But you can do it. You can make anything happen. So, the potatoes look like this. We had covered them up with the parchment, put the things on the top. Now I'm going to unveil them. The parchment is just helping us have it not stick in the pan so that we can get them out. So, let's see if we can get this. That's what they look like. They smell great, actually. I can smell, they smell like buttery, and that garlic and rosemary that I infused into the peanut oil is definitely coming through. So I'm really pleased with that choice that I made to add that, because I think it's going to be flavorful. All right, so they say that we just turn it upside down, flip it out. I hope this works. Come on, baby. Ah, it worked. Hooray! Okay. Well, there she is. It looks like the videos. So, here's our beautiful little potato stacks. You can see all the layers. Looks like how it should look. And now I'm just going to, I could use a ruler to make sure that they're all perfect, but I don't really care about that. So I'm just going to measure like this. Beautiful little layered potato cake. And those layers with the lamentation is what will open up like a puff pastry or croissant, like we said, that will stack up into a fluffy, yummy, buttery, fatty potato. I'm just gonna finish cutting these. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're ready for the next step, which is the frying of the potatoes. We have our beautiful little potato stacks, which are chilled. And I'm just waiting for this oil to heat up to 375. Transparency, real talk. I've never fried anything, deep fried anything in my life. This is peanut oil. I have, pan fried things, but I am not a big deep fried lover, and so I don't do a lot of it at home. So we'll see how this goes. I'm watching this little thermometer I just bought. We're almost at 375, which is what they say to do. And we'll continue. I'll have to monitor. I'm using this tabletop, really awesome gift I got as a Christmas gift, burner, instead of my stove behind me, just because my back would be to you. It'd be hard to film. So I'm using this handy dandy little tool, and that's why that's there. So here we go. All right. I'm also, I don't want it to go up too high. All right. So looks like we're at 375 here. I'll keep monitoring this. And I'm going to drop the first one in. And even though I haven't done this before, woo! I know that we're not supposed to overcrowd it, so I'm only going to put a few in. And it doesn't say exactly how long, just woo! Till golden brown on all sides. Woo! Ooh, this is scary. Is this how it's supposed to go? Okay. We're frying. Ooh, they're getting golden brown. Ooh, it's starting to open up a little bit. Okay. I guess this is how you fry. Deep fry. Come on now. I see you, little potato. Ooh. Honey. Henny. Come on with your lamentation. I'm going to put it in just for a second more. Oh. I'm going to take that puppy out. I've got a little paper towel thing sitting here. Ooh-wee. Look at those babies. You get in close. Oh yeah. Woo, that's gonna be tasty. All right, more going in. Okay, I just wanted to show, while they're still warm, I'm going to just sprinkle a little of the little kosher salt on there. I think they'll need it. Even though we put a little salt in at the beginning, I think that'll be good. We did it. 15-hour potatoes. They smell good. They look good, right? Don't you think? Yeah, they smell good. Let's see. Is it worth it? Was it worth all that effort? I don't know. Let's check it out. I want to try one. So I'm going to bring in a completely unbiased party member. Totally not non-biased. Da-da-da-da, my partner Brad. Brad, would you like to try a 15-hour fried potato?
I've been wanting to try this for 15 hours.
Do you have any questions about them?
Why are they going to be so delicious?
Well, there's layers of duck fat flavored with rosemary and garlic. Are you ready? Is your heart ready? And fried in peanut oil.
Great.
So...
Peloton, I'll see you soon.
All right, how about you try this one?
Okay.
And we'll see if it needs any more salt. Wait for me. We'll eat it together.
You got it.
Wait, this one's kind of warm. You want to try a warm one?
Sure.
I want to try a warm one. Is this one warm? Oh, but I kind of want a crunchy.
Ooh,
okay, this is good.
It smells so good.
It does smell so good.
It's got like
it feels oily. It's definitely...
It's a
beautiful layers.
fried potato. Ready?
But it's definitely oily feeling. But let's do it. Oh, man down. All right, 1, 2, 3. Cheers.
That's delicious.
That's kind of stupid good. I mean, it's fried potato. I'm really glad that I did the rosemary and garlic. I think
No, it definitely adds something.
it does. So I recommend that if you're gonna go this route. I mean, it is very rich,
It's got
super
the
buttery, and
like outside crunchiness of hash browns, but it's got a really nice, almost like the inside of a French fry on the inside. of
yeah, that's a good description. Yeah, definitely kind of French
it.
fry-ish.
Velvety, oily.
Yeah, that's a good description.
Yeah,
Um,
not bad oily.
But all those layers, kind of like a Hasselback potato. You know those potatoes that you like cut up really thin and you like fried them twice. A Hasselhoff potato, David Hasselhoff potato.
Oh man.
Anyway, all right, Kit. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
We're gonna have some more of those maybe later. All right.
All right, I'll let you sign off.
So that's it. That's the 15-hour potato challenge. I did it. If you like it, give me a like, subscribe on YouTube, like me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. I don't know, all the things. Look for me in all those places. And I hope you enjoy your Sunday. Hope you have a great week. I know I enjoyed my time here on Sunday in my tiny kitchen.